Hey everyone, this is Sun.
And I'm Belle.
Welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on 2026 Wuthering Heights, directed by Emerald Fennell.
Yes, we just watched it last night in theaters. It released during Valentine's Day weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Or Single Awareness Day. But we were really excited to watch this movie. We're both loosely familiar with the story. We both read the book years ago. I'm a fan of the book, really enjoyed it. And I also really enjoyed the 1939 movie with Laurence Olivier.
Ooh, that one was a very good adaptation. And we'll go into this because this movie kind of deviates from the actual original book.
I'm just gonna get right into it. I was deeply disappointed by the movie. My interpretation of the story was that Heathcliff and Cathy are, passionate and obsessive, and they love each other so deeply in ways that really transcend romance. They are one, and they're cut from the same cloth, and they share experiences from childhood, really traumatic experiences,
Right.
and the most intriguing aspect of the story for me was the fact that these two lovers can never be together. They can never consummate their love. And it really creates psychological tension and turbulence and a lot of anxiety in the story that makes it so great.
And that's definitely not what I got out of the movie, because I read the book, but it's been years, and so I really don't remember the details. But the movie really focused more on like the physical tension between the two and not really the true trauma bonded love between the two that goes beyond just like the physical aspect of romance. What we got was just like, okay, they're very physically attracted to each other.
Exactly. That's how I saw it as well. And of course, everyone can have their own interpretation of the story. I thought that Emerald Fennell's depiction, though, it lacked emotional depth. I wasn't sure, I wasn't convinced that there was true love between Cathy and Heathcliff.
Right.
And I knew from the trailer that there were going to be some steamy scenes. I thought that was evident, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that it would be just that for a lot of it. It really lacked subtlety, which makes, art and movies really beautiful and
Right.
interesting.
Because it was just in your face the whole time. And sometimes like that shock value works once, but not for the whole movie every single time.
Yeah, that's how I felt too.
Right.
It was just very, very in your face, lacked subtlety, and because of that, it affected the story for me because I wasn't convinced of the love between Heathcliff and Cathy. And how did you like those characters?
Between Cathy and Heathcliff? In the beginning, you wanted to root for them because as children, their love was so organic and beautiful and really bonded on trauma because they're going through the same thing, and you could really feel that they're one. But as they got older, you really just kind of didn't like them. Like Cathy was so unlikable, and she was mean in so many scenes where she just reeked of like selfishness and just self-absorption. And then Heathcliff was, he was acting like her pet the whole time, right? He was so obsessed where he forgot about everything about who he was as himself and their actual like love for each other, because it was so overmasked by like the physical aspect of it. And by the end, you kind of don't care how they end up.
I think part of the reason why Cathy and Heathcliff are not likable in this movie is because the movie really lacks some of the context that the book provides. The book goes deep into themes of class structure, racism,
Right.
and it really kind of forms how Heathcliff is and how he views the world.
Right.
And it really hardens his heart. He's treated differently. And all the previous renditions of Wuthering Heights has whitewashed his character.
Right.
And I was hoping in 2026 we could cast, we could go away from that because it affects the storyline.
It does. Because you don't get any of that from the movie.
Exactly.
Like for someone like me, again, who doesn't remember the book and all those details, like you would never think that was the theme of the movie. So let's go into the actors. What did you think about Margot Robbie playing Cathy?
Well, first I want to start off by saying I'm a big fan of Margot Robbie. I think she's an excellent actress, and she's
Beautiful.
so gorgeous. But I don't think it was the right casting ultimately, because this character Kathy is supposed to be much younger. When I read the book, I got the feeling that she was a teenager, like 16 to 18 years old. And so, and watching the movie with Margot Robbie, she's obviously visibly a grown adult.
Right.
And that changes and that takes away from the context of Kathy's decision making.
Right, because she comes off and very immature, very lacks self-control, and those are things that as a grown adult you have a little bit more grasp of, which she didn't portray at all.
It's different when you imagine a 16-year-old crying and throwing a fit and wanting to get her way, having zero control over her impulses, versus a grown woman in her mid-30s, right? Or young 30s, whatever Margot Robbie is.
Yeah.
She's much older than what the character should be, and I did think that detracted away from the character.
Let's talk about some positives. I really like the way that the movie was shot and how they used color. Like there was a lot of bold reds and blues and greens, against a black background, which I thought was really well done. I also like how they used weather to depict emotion.
Yeah.
And so seeing it in IMAX, like you really felt like the tension between the two, or like the sadness and anger. And so overall, I think that part was very well done. And I actually really like the costumes a lot. And I know that's a little controversial because some of the stuff that Margot Robbie was wearing was very loud and out there. Like that one scene with all the jewels in the face reminded me of Euphoria, for example. Like, I don't think that maybe they were doing that in the 1700s.
No, I don't think it was historically accurate. I think they were flipping between historical periods just for the aesthetic effect.
Right.
I was getting distracted. And I know that the movie aesthetically, it was very beautiful. Like you said, the director did a great job with the cinematography. Some of the shots that we got, the landscape, were just beautiful to see. It was awesome to get that effect in the IMAX theater. Yeah. But the thing I kept thinking in my head was style over substance. And that's what this movie was. It was all about, getting you in the feels and the heat of the moment in the scene and the beautiful picture, the visuals. But there's nothing under it. Where's the story? Where's the substance? Where's the context? And for me, I know we're talking about positives.
I was gonna say, I'm like, wait.
So the style was great. The substance was lacking for me.
What did you like about the movie?
A standout performance was from the actress who played Isabella.
Oh,
she was a fresh face.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with her work.
No.
Alison Oliver. She... from the moment I saw her, she just changed the energy of the movie.
Right. She brings like a good comical aspect into the movie.
She really did. And it was, I don't know if it was just a nice break from all the heat, like the intense, passionate
That's a good point.
Her acting was awesome, refreshing. It was a little bit disappointing to see where they took the direction of Isabella's character.
Right.
Like she was so degraded and
wearing
a dog collar and barking and that was tough. But even so, the actress just made her scene so impactful and it was like eyes were glued to the screen. But ultimately, I enjoyed the experience. And
I enjoyed watching it with you.
I enjoyed that as well.
Our little sister date.
Filmmaking, I know there's so much that goes into it, and ultimately it was an entertaining watch. I think it would have done much better if they didn't call it Wuthering Heights.
I agree. It should be like something else.
Right, something of Emerald Fennell's own creation and imagination because it was so far off from the book and what made the book so great. But yeah, if it was not tied with it or it was just inspired by it, then I think I would have had a much different experience.
All right, final question. Would you recommend anyone to go watch this in theater?
Not in theater. I'll have to say save your money and wait till it comes out on a streaming service. Is that too harsh? Maybe.
I don't know. I actually would recommend somebody to go watch this in theater because, again, of the visual beauty of it.
That's
like the colors,
point.
The tension, the sound, the loud music, the weather. Like you really don't feel that watching it from home. I don't know if IMAX is necessary. All right, friends. You heard our thoughts. What did you think about the movie or the book? I mean, if you're a fan of Wuthering Heights or not, we want to hear your comments down below.
Yeah, and just a disclaimer, these were just our opinions. We're excited to hear yours. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss another video. And I think that's it for now, friends.
Thanks.
Bye.